They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
You're home to the NFL. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida. Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub! I'm full of cold tub. I stay hot tub.
A little warmer tub today.
Yeah,
it feels better after
that.
Yeah, more like Florida instead of whatever.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Really made me sweat.
Yeah! Yeah!
Really made me wet.
Yeah!
Well.
Should Griff come to the beach? Yeah!
Good eye.
We are live, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We held off as long as we could to tell everybody who's going to be the next football coach at Arnold because we were trying to give Griff enough time to tell his team that he was leaving.
Right.
Bruce Bozeman. I didn't really know what time school started. I think we did okay. I think he got in there and got it done before. I hope he did anyway. But we'll have Coach Griff on today at 7:15 talking about his new job at Arnold High School. I know people on the beach are excited about it. What was your take on it?
I'm not surprised. A lot of people don't know that he was an assistant coach there before too, so he's familiar with.
So I didn't know that until last night.
What's that?
I didn't know that until last night. I forgot.
Yeah,
he was with Josh, right?
Pardon?
He was with Josh.
Yeah, him and Josh. So it's not really a surprise.
Yeah.
At all, really.
Now, Bozeman is open. Patton's going to have to find you a football coach. Good luck following him.
Right.
They had the best record anybody's had in a long time, the best school record in Bozeman history at 12-1. And I know a lot of people were disappointed that he was leaving there. I think some people's feelings were probably hurt. But you got to realize that's what happens in coaching. He came in there, built the program up. You ought to be happy.
For sure.
And excited for him for having another opportunity to go to a bigger school and see if he can do the same thing there. So I don't think it's right to be upset with him for taking a job that he wants a challenge. So he built that thing up. He stayed there 6 years. And I know there's some hard feelings over there. Some are okay with it. But
so you'd have been okay if Nick Saban would have left Alabama and went to Tennessee? That'd have been okay?
Next question, Jim.
There's not another job when you're in college football to go to another college school if you're Alabama.
I'm just saying.
I will say this. He's taken Bozeman to about as far as they could go. I mean, Madison counties of the world, I mean, they win state championships every year, and there's a reason for that. We've talked about it on the radio. So, yeah. I mean, to me, they were the true 1A state.
Bozeman's a 1A school.
Right.
Arnold is one of maybe the biggest school in the county.
And I'm not trying to put Bozeman down at all. I'm not.
No,
because they had a great season, and
right.
I coached a long time. I know what it's like. But when I watched the 1A championship game between Madison County and Hawthorne, I'm sorry, Bozeman, you didn't look like them guys.
No.
I mean,
not many people do.
Right.
Size-wise, speed-wise, athlete-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what you got to compete with at that level. And it's going to be the same 2-3 every year. So I know that's part of it. It is. Ultimately, who am I going to have to beat to get where I want to be?
We're going to be able to ask him what his reasonings were and why he wanted to switch, and we all know because we're competitive.
Can't condemn anybody for bettering themselves.
No, he's going up to a bigger school, bigger classification, more challenges.
To a school that's starving for wins that hasn't had it since you've left, and let's be honest. So they wanted him bad, and they targeted somebody within the county, which I thought is smart because nowadays you need to have familiarity with the kids in the county with school choice. You got to get players, so love it or hate it.
NIL is coming.
And all that. A challenge and a change of pace is good for the heart and soul and the mind.
Right.
I think they bring Arnold back to respectability. And
does that mean we're taking a job with CBS next?
That's right.
Are we going?
That's right.
All right.
You didn't get the memo.
Nah. I told him I couldn't leave Randy. I got to stay.
You want to go to the Big Ten Network now?
Big Ten. Hey, I'm ready. Might as well. They've come to the South and took us. We might as well go. Speaking of that, Lane Kiffin made some comments you see with some stuff he made?
Oh, did you see me laugh at that?
Yeah.
It's hilarious, I think. I mean, SEC for 25 years had
That's all he's been
under
doing.
the table.
Well, Lane is an expert on he got to give him credit. He told Ole Miss that you get my NIL money up, then I'll stay here. He didn't go to Auburn, and they did, and it's worked well for them. He's gotten great players in there, and they're going to be good next year. Their schedule's a little bit easier than some of the other schools in the SEC.
So why is he taking shots at other schools that are?
He does that.
I know, but it just shows me how much of a hypocrite he is.
That's kind of reason he's probably not the head coach of Alabama right now.
Because you know who's the number one ranked team in the transfer portal? Ole Miss. Yeah. And he's taking shots at other teams, trying to say, "Oh, they're building through NIL."
Well, that's just because he had more numbers than Ohio State.
That's because he lost Judkins to Ohio State.
The two teams that are knocking out. Let's just keep it real. The two teams that are knocking out the ballpark right now is Texas and Ohio State. They've got Texas, Georgia. I watched Kirby myself. My own eyes saw him hug Downs after the game. Ran him down, hugged him, loved on him. Hired our defensive back coach, which would have been our new defensive coordinator. That's what I was hearing out of Tuscaloosa. This guy Robinson was probably going to be the new DC at Alabama if things would have gone, if Nick would have kept on coaching. And then Kirby hires him, and then DeBoer tries to get him back. So they paid him. I forgot what. I think next year he's going to make $1.4 million next year as a co-defense coordinator. And I believe they're going to have him coaching either secondary or linebacker. I got it written down somewhere. So Kirby got him knowing that he coached the best safety in college football happens to be a 17-year-old freshman.
Right.
It's going to be a first-round draft pick, maybe the first overall pick. And they got him. They went after him. He's from the state of Georgia. And for Ohio State to be able to pull that off is incredible to me. That they got him, the amount of money they're spending.
You know, it's insane. Talk about the money that Downs was offered and a lot of other guys, too. I was listening to the radio yesterday in the car going somewhere, and Isaiah Pacheco, who's about a second or third year player for the Kansas City Chiefs, won a Super Bowl, more than one. He's a seventh-round pick for the Chiefs.
Terrific running back.
He's out of Rutgers. Very good player for a seventh-round player. You know what he makes? He makes $850,000.
Yeah.
That's it?
Rookie contracts are scaled.
He's playing for the Super Bowl champs. And so just as how insane this is, let's use Caleb Downs, because you just threw his numbers out. Caleb Downs is going to be playing for Ohio State, turned down 1.3 to play at Georgia, for the Georgia Bulldogs. The guy's playing in the Super Bowl. He's making less than $1 million a year as a seventh-round pick. So when people say, why do they do this? People, it's real simple. Money. That's the only reason.
That's why
forget about loyalty. Forget about I want to play for this, that, the other. It's not it. You want to play for Benjamin Franklin is who you want to play for. And that's the only reason.
And that's why Ohio State had a lot of their upperclassmen return, because they're like second, third-round picks. Those guys ain't making $20 million a year. They're making 3 to 4 in their first rookie contracts because it's scaled based on your pick. So second, third-round picks don't make as much as people realize in a rookie contract. So these NI deals that are $3-5 million, they're making just as much to come back. That class, what people don't realize, hasn't beaten Michigan, and that's a big stain on your record if you go through Ohio State 4 years and not beat that team up north.
And they will probably get drafted by a team that's not winning.
Right.
And can stay there and win a national championship.
And they can still
let's make it real clear what has happened. Michigan just won a national championship. They are the king of football. People in Ohio State cannot stand it. The big wheels, the money people, same thing we can't down here. And they've met with the coach and told him, this is what you got to do. You better get it done.
I guarantee you that happens.
He's got a new offense coordinator. We'll talk about that later.
They got a new AD, which people may not realize.
From A&M, right?
Texas A&M. And the only reason they brought him in was to work with NIL. I mean, they were getting tired of having that roadblock where they would recruit a Justin Scott for 8 months, and then on signing day, someone would swoop in and offer him $2-3 million, and they'd lose him. Because this is what's happened with Ohio State over the last 2 years.
Right.
Ohio State lost 2 to Miami.
Oh, absolutely.
Scott and the running back, too.
The last 2 years, they've lost their whole defensive lines, defensive ends. They really haven't had a defensive line class the last 2 years. So fast forward, you see Michigan win, and Ohio State's finally acting like a true blue blood. They should be acting like this. They should be throwing money around. Texas should be too. Georgia. Alabama should be. Georgia. This is why you're a blue blood. I mean, this is why you have billion-dollar boosters. I mean, this is the landscape of college football. If you don't want to play it, get out. because nobody's changing it. We've all complained every day on here. Let's do this, let's do that. There's nobody out there going to change it.
Lane said they're spending. The count was 3.8 million and still counting, which I believe that. And then you got saying that kid. I talked to that during practice for the Rose Bowl against Michigan. They talked about, man, this kid can throw a football. I mean, he's the real deal. He can play. Now, he's not as big as the kid from Kansas State, but he can throw the heck out of that football.
I will say this, though, that quarterback spot at Ohio State is not just for running. We saw C.J. Stroud there for 2 years not run at all. Now, I don't agree with it. I think it's better when he does run. I'm not putting Sagan out of the possibility to start this year. I know they brought Will Howard in, but they don't care about anybody's feelings now. They got Aaron Nolan, Will Howard, and Julian Sagan.
They know they got to win
in this class. I mean, they're stacking running backs. They got Judkins and Travion Henderson. They got probably the 3 best receivers in college football with Jeremiah Smith coming in, Carnell Tate coming back. They got all these defensive linemen. They got Caleb Downs. The holes they have right now, if they can fill it in the spring portal, is going to be offensive tackle. They need an offensive tackle. They have to have an offensive tackle and linebacker. Linebackers last year cost us the Michigan game. They're out of position. But what I think they're going to do is they're going to slide Styles down to linebacker, put Downs at safety, and that's going to shore up a little bit of that defense too. So, but they're talented. We're going to see if this model works, because it hadn't worked for A&M, hasn't worked for Miami. Bringing in these superstars and trying to build an all-star team really hadn't worked for anybody. So we'll see how good that culture is at Ohio State.
For Alabama. We thought they were superstars.
Well, they were, yeah. But Nick Saban's a different animal too.
They got? Who did they pick up? I know they still got Penn State, Michigan. They pick up Oregon.
Yeah.
They go to Oregon.
They got
they don't have Washington. They don't have.
No.
Okay.
They got the softest schedule in the Big Ten next year.
So it's do or die.
It's set up for them to win. Every game.
And I think it's going to be Texas, the other one,
because their out of conference games or there's nothing on their out of conference schedule.
Yeah.
They added Oregon, but they lost Notre Dame, so it's kind of a wash there for me.
But the thing you see at Alabama, you got guys that were star. I could see a guy that was like the second team, really good second team, 4 or 5 stars, not playing. I get it. But when you're starting at Alabama and all of a sudden you don't want to be there anymore, that kind of.
Well, James, you said it yourself on the show yesterday, because I heard you say it. After the game, what do they come to Nick Saban with their hand out? They want more money to stay. That's Alabama.
Can you believe that? That's never happened there.
That's
before.
Not some third-ranked nobody team.
That's not the mindset.
That's one of the best
of those
programs in the country.
Yeah, they didn't think like that in the past. It was like.
And I think that's what drove Saban off, because as we start to look back at all the events that occurred and how they kind of scrambled after the fact, I don't think he was ready to retire. I think he had the conversation with this kid. He was asking for money. He's trying to talk to him about a championship, and I just think his brain was like,
the first thing out of their mouth, and it wasn't more than one of them. They were lined up.
Right.
As soon as they get back, I mean, not the second they walked off the plane, but I think it was the next day. They're like, I got to have a better deal. I was told I should be making more money, and maybe they should have been. I don't know. What about? Didn't it have been a crazy year though? Auburn's coaching staff. Another thing's nuts. You hadn't heard a word about what happened up in Nashville. Real quiet.
We're not going to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it was too.
We've heard it. But
Cadillac Williams, the face of Auburn. I mean, he was a savior to keep the season going last year. And he's gone. He's off the pro. He's gone, dead, gone, over. Not dead, but off the staff. And it's just amazing they've kept all that stuff really quiet.
I was really, really, really excited about Hugh Freeze at Auburn the first year. I thought he was going to kill it, but seeing him losing to New Mexico State, seeing him just not show up in that bowl game where they should have, played a little bit better again't Maryland, and then seeing these off-season troubles a little bit.
Are you surprised though that
I'm a little skeptical
they haven't been more? Like, what happened to Cadillac? Why aren't you telling?
Well, whatever it was, it must have been something that they don't want to have out there. That's why they're not.
I think it's twofold. He definitely did something. We all kind of heard rumblings of what he did, but I don't think Hugh wanted him on the staff. I think he sees him as a threat to his authority. Right.
Yep.
And when you're the captain, you want to be the sole captain. You don't need players running to this guy and talking about stuff behind your back. So it's just like a relationship. I mean, if you can't trust each other, then you got to go.
You got that right. You don't believe him, you don't trust him, you got a problem, you're married. Yeah. All right. Hey, Coach, how much time we got? 1 minute. All right. When we get back, the new head football coach, hopefully we'll get the new head football coach at Arnold, Coach Griff will be on with us, talking about the big change, going from the championship team that he built at Bozeman and going to try to do the exact same thing at Arnold and Panama City Beach. I know the beach is pumped up. They're excited. and we hopefully have him on the phone and talk about that. But right now, let's talk about some of our great people. Jason, let's talk about Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Matter of fact, if Griffiths should have you down there talking to that whole football team, get these guys in this beach stronger, bigger, stronger, and faster, and you can help make that happen.
Yeah, because we're setting up some little, expos and little meetings that we're going to go out for, like a high school outreach program where we go talk to all the coaching staffs and their players. So, Emily that we had on last Tuesday, she's going to come in either or this Friday or next Tuesday. We're going to talk a little bit about the meal plans that we can, offer to the kids, the supplementation. At that age, you just need food and some maybe creatine. I mean, we're not, filling them anything crazy, pre-workouts, all that other stuff. But these kids need more calories at that age. They need to be able to learn how to time their food and just learn a little bit about basic nutrition, and that's what we can come out and help the coaches with. We do have the InBody 570 to be able to track the results too. So give us a call, 850-257-5780 in town, or if you're on the beach, 850-708-3051. Pier Park North in the Del Coronado Village in town.
Get out of J. Michael's restaurant for the best seafood, coldest beer, the legendary J. Michael's. South Oak Title and Closing for all your real estate closings, all your real estate deals. Make sure you don't make a mistake. Go with the local company here in the Panhandle, Florida, and that is South Oak Title and Closing. Chuck Tucker, locals, taking care of locals. Also, Charlie Corum's, Linda, they got another beautiful Corum's opened up on 15th Street. This is the newest one they've done. They've had a restaurant since 1986, but this one's special. It's right over there on 15th Street. It's big. It's beautiful. The facility's outstanding. The food's incredible. Home cooking, vegetables. Where do you get vegetables at anymore? Home cooking. Like one of the beef tips, 2-size tea for $11.20. You can't beat that. They got chopped steak. They got spaghetti. They got meatloaf. They got it all. They got it all right there at Charlie Corr's place on 15th Street. They also got that big room in the back that seats up to about 25 people. If you want to have a birthday party or something like that, you can do so. But get out to Charlie Corr's place, have a great time. Tell them Coach sent you. Stevenson Air Conditioning. It's not very cold out there today, so we'll be in pretty good shape. But if you had problems getting your house warm, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. Let them service it. Let them come out and tell you what the issue is. They can solve all problems. If yours just quits in the middle of the night, do what Jason did. Everybody does. You call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They'll be there for you. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
Three-pointer, college basketball is back.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
The SEC, ACC, and beyond.
Oh, you saw that coming,
The biggest games play right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a moderate breeze out of the east-southeast, light rain and 63. A variety of slight fog and light sprinkles tonight, about the same at 61. Tomorrow, slightly foggy and lightly raining and a high of 68. The same at 68 Thursday, and we'll have a variety of heavy rain and slight fog. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
The Senior Bowl. For 75 years, it's been the proving ground of football's greatest legends. The tradition continues Saturday, February 3rd as the legends return to Mobile. Join us at a Hancock Whitney Stadium, where the first 5,000 entrants will receive limited edition bobbleheads of the 75th team legends. Dan Marino, DeMarcus Ware, Aaron Donald, Sean Alexander, and Cornelius Bennett. Get your tickets for the 75th Senior Bowl at seniorbowl.com. The draft starts in Mobile.
He's a beacon of light to many and an inspiration to all.
These men need inspiration.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio.
They're motivated by Vicodin and road skank.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome Welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Are we on? Are we back? We are back. Jason Kovaleski sitting with us this day from Maxfit Sports Nutrition. Jim Brandt. And now I'll tell you what, I'm excited about this. This is close to our hearts, man. We worked there for 13 years. We wanted to see Arnold be really good. And I think this is going to wake up a lot of people in Bay County. I really do. Our people at the beach are excited. I talked to some people yesterday. Feel like we got a really good chance to do something special. And we're not cutting anybody down that was there before. Coach Campbell did a great job.
Right.
No doubt about that. But what Griff did at Bozeman, building that program up like that, so we know it can be done.
Right.
I mean, nobody thought that would ever happen at Bozeman. It did. And we got him. I think we got him on the phone right now. Coach Griff, how you doing, sir?
Hey, good morning.
Great to have you on the phone this morning with you. Really appreciate you taking. I know you're busy. I know you got 1,000 things going on. We want to ask you, how tough was it to make this decision where you went to a school, you've been there 6 years, and now I think everybody kind of relates that school. When you think about Bozeman, we think about you, how you built it up when it was really not anything at all to a 12-1 football team, the best record we've had in Bay County in years. What was that like, and how tough was it to make that decision to leave and come to Arnold?
Well, I'll tell you, it's the single most difficult thing I've done professionally in my life, by far. Incredibly challenging to look those kids in the eye and tell them that I need to do something different for my family and a different opportunity and something that was the most challenging thing that I've ever done, and really tough for me on a personal level. To leave that program after what we've done there and built that, and all the people that bought in and what we've accomplished, to do something at a place they said it couldn't be done. It was difficult. I'd be dishonest if I said it wasn't incredibly challenging, and it's been it's been a whirlwind couple of days here, but I'm excited about the opportunity and what's ahead of us.
Yeah, we were talking earlier. I said, people are human. You got some people's feelings will be hurt that you've left. But we were talking about, hey, be grateful that he was there, what he built up. That's just what coaches do. They want to challenge. They want to do something different. And you got a big challenge right now. What about your coaching staff? Have you talked, or can you tell us who you're going to be bringing with you?
Well, a lot of that's still. Sorry, I dropped my kids off.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Good morning. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's still in flux right now. There's going to be a lot of things that need to be decided. Guys have to make decisions on what they want to do for their future. This is all fairly new. I agonized over this, for a while, and I wasn't sure and went back and forth. Again, the heartstrings tug at you pretty hard, but then, the rational thought and the decision about what you think is best and then the challenge that you want to take. Those things, kind of tug back and forth at you. But ultimately, I decided, that I felt like the opportunity and what was in place at Arnold and what lied ahead out there was a good challenge for me and something I was looking forward to. And I think some guys on the staff, we had conversations about the possibility, but now that it's happened, it's pretty brand new. So I think there'll be some discussions about guys that may want to come, the guys may want to stay and then try to continue that work back there. And I think a lot of that's going to have to do with who what direction Bozeman decides to go with their next football coach.
Now, they're going to let you. Did they give you a number? How many guys you're going to be able to bring in as far as teaching slots and things like that? They're going to be pretty open-minded about that.
Well, I'll tell you the conversation so far, and I've not known Principal Smith, a great deal beforehand, but I've had quite a few conversations with him recently, and he seems very committed to trying to do everything he can to support Arnold football and to try to help it. I think in our conversation leading up to one of the things that I asked him what his vision was, and he wanted, he from afar, he had a lot of respect for what I did at Bozeman and the community and the family and the things that we created out there. And I think that a lot of the things that he saw us develop at Bozeman, he'd like to see me do at Arnold. And, those are the things that we're going to shoot for. So, he's very, very committed to give me the support I needed. We haven't gotten into a lot of specifics, but he is definitely committed to trying to help me bring in the people that we need, as well as help us with the resources, the facilities, and all the things that we need to develop a successful program.
Coach, first of all, I want to congratulate you. James and I both coach at Arnold. We know it can be a special place with the right people in place. But there's always a factor when you coach anywhere is where do you live? So I'm not trying to be too personal, but I know this is always a factor. Are you going to have to travel? Do you live in town? Do you live on the beach? I mean, your kids, because it affects everybody. It does. So just if you can speak about that, I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, well, my kids are a little bit confused. They're super into what Daddy does and football and super into Bozeman and those kind of things. So it's been a little challenging, talking to them and explaining to them, the things that are, what's happening and why it's happening. And they're young and they're resilient. They'll be okay. But they're that's been one of the another one of the tougher things. But at the same time, where my wife and I and my family, we live in town. We like to we like where we live. We like to stay where we are, and it's actually quite a bit closer.
Okay, well, there you go.
Arnold's quite a bit closer to where we live than Bozeman was. So, and it's one of it was a factor, smaller factor, but that was one of the factors. And it is quite a bit shorter, quite a bit closer. And as my kids get a little bit older, and as a football coach, you don't get a great deal of time to spend, with your kids, particularly during the season. So to have the opportunity to be a little bit closer and maybe be able to see them a little bit more than I've seen them at times at Bozeman was definitely a factor in pushing me towards the decision. Is that I really love my kids and being around my kids, and to have a little possibly a little bit of more opportunity, particularly during the football season, to see them a little bit more often. That's definitely was something that was attractive about this opportunity.
Congratulations again, Coach. I just wanted to ask, we know you put your heart and soul into Bozeman. What was attractive about Arnold when that job opened up that made you want to kind of apply for that job and maybe take that challenge on?
Well, yeah, you're correct. And, I gave, I felt like I gave Bozeman everything that I could give them.
Absolutely.
And, we got it, we're very fortunate with the players and the people and the buy-in and everything out there. So, I was very fortunate out there, at times with the way people bought into who I was and what we were trying to accomplish. And so, and moving forward, looking at Arnold, and looking back on the experience of Bozeman, what a cool thing to take it from where it was to where it is. And, that's a tremendous source of pride for me and a really cool thing. And I, not having done that before, you don't know that you can do that. You hope you can do it. You think you can. And, looking at this, I see a similar opportunity. We've got a program that, has really had some struggles recently. But I think the resources are in place. I think the people are in place. I think the players out there are hungry for it. And I really feel like we can maybe we can make lightning strike twice, and that I can be the guy to kind of bring that thing back and make it make it elite program. Right now, when I got to Bozeman, it wasn't a lot of respect for Bozeman. People really didn't talk a lot about Bozeman as being a place where football was going to be a thing, and I don't think people say that now. But and looking forward, I hope that that's what we can do at Arnold. But it's going to take buy-in from the people. It's going to take buy-in from the community. It's certainly going to take buy-in from the players in order to create that same dynamic that we created at Bozeman. But I feel like it can be done, and I feel like I'm the guy to do it.
Coach, when are you going to start? What's your first day when you'll be at Arnold?
Well, that's kind of in flux. I know that with the transfer and the things with the district, there's a start date in February where the transfer will be complete. But I know that Principal Smith is working with Ivan out at Bozeman. Britt and Ivan have talked quite a bit. And Ivan's been great through the whole thing. Again, he's understood in the conversations. We had quite a few conversations leading up to me making this decision, and he's been great about where we're at. So I think what they have to do is decide. There's issues with me leaving and substitutes and things that they're working out amongst themselves. So I think that from Arnold's end, the expectation is for me to be there just as soon as possible. I think I have some things to wrap up at Bozeman, logistically with just moving things and wrapping up some things, making sure that I don't leave Bozeman. I certainly don't want to leave anything unfinished or something's going to reflect poorly on me. So, I'm going to work closely with Ivan to make sure that we've wrapped things up at Bozeman. And then, of course, with Mr. Smith, with Bridget out at Arnold to make sure that that we're ready to go out there.
Will you start the winter workouts at Arnold even before you actually physically move over there? Or within the next couple of weeks, you think they'll start doing your winter workout?
Yeah, they're already. Of course, they've got some guys that are in there still rolling the program. I was in there. I was pleasantly surprised. Coach Hodge was out there, had the weight room rolling, so it's not like it's been idle.
Right.
Or kids have been, just out in the wind. So, very fortunate that they've had some good guys out there that have an interest in kind of keeping some continuity. So, we have to get out there and assess some things, and there's going to be a little bit of a transition. But I would imagine within a couple of weeks here at the most, we'll have things kind of going the way that I'd like them to be done.
All right, we're grateful you came on this morning. I know you're busy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on to be on the show with us. Good luck to you, man. We're pumped up about it. And we'll talk to you soon. If you need us, give us a call.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Coach.
Coach Griff.
Yeah,
All right, man.
Exciting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What do you think? What are the other coaches saying? What do you think's going on at Bay right now? You think Glenn's shaking over there? You think he's nervous?
He might be nervous a little bit.
I know Jeremy's not. Jeremy's cool.
Yeah, Jeremy's good. But it's another, good coach on the beach is going to build another, good team. It's going to be another, a team that people are going to have to deal with here in the near future because he's going to get a certain level of success just by the way he coaches.
Look at the growth of the beach.
Oh, absolutely.
Look how many people live out here.
And they just need to keep the talent on the beach.
All right, go back and look at him. It was Mosley. Mosley was dominating football, and with school of choice, we all thought it's going to roll with them. They're going to continue to go. Then Bay, and then Jeremy goes to Bay. He wins the county championship, and we're like, wow. And then this year, out of nowhere, Bozeman, 12-1. Bozeman had the best program in the county this year.
Yep.
So, who's to say? How long does it take?
Hard to know.
Depends on the Jimmies and the Joes. How can he get them? I mean, if you bring them in, they can win.
You got to have some. Well, I think it's going to be really interesting what happens in the future. It can be done. I got to give Rutherford. Rutherford played a lot better this year.
Yep.
The coach had their run. So who do you think it's going to be next year? Who's going to be the power in Bay County football next year? Does it go back to Mosley? Does Bay had a young team? Was it Bay? Is it Bozeman again this year? Who's it going to be?
I'm looking at Mosley Bay. I think Mosley's a little bit more established. I think they have some upper classman talent on that roster. But Bay was young last year, so we saw what Jeremy did his first year. Last year, they had some younger kids. But I think those two schools are going to battle for the county championship.
I will say Rutherford will be better. I
agree with that. 100%.
North Bay Haven. I saw Gordy and his boys would look good. He got some good looking kids, and they got a chance. They feel like they're going to be pretty good at North Bay Haven.
Yeah.
So high school football, it looks like it's heading in the right direction. Jim, if you had to give it's your guess right now, who do you think will be the power next year?
Of the ones that I saw in person this past season, but that doesn't always translate season to season. Mosley, they were when they were playing right, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Bay, like you say, very athletic, but pretty young.
Right.
And the other ones, and of course Bozeman, but that was 1A. That's not really the same as 5A, or 4A.
Right.
But
plus they lose their quarterback, who's a big part of that team, Peyton. So we'll see what they. I still think they're going to be a solid team. It'd be interesting who Patton hires there because Patton's a tremendous AD.
You got Josh Wright sitting in the building. He's been a head football coach, knows what he's doing. Now, if I'm Griff, I'm doing everything I can to get him to go with me to Arnold. But I'm Patton. He's a pretty good coach.
Here's the thing.
He's been there.
From Josh Wright's point of view, he was the head coach at Arnold. Does he want to come back not as the head coach?
So I don't think that'd bother Josh.
I'm just saying. I mean,
I get it.
Just depends on where you're going.
Let's take a break. We'll come back to that. Turf Pro Pest Control. Do you want that yard to look absolutely beautiful? They can make it happen. Call Patrick. Turf Pro Pest Control. They'll have your yard looking absolutely beautiful. Hey, all your real estate needs, you got to go Chuck Tucker. But all the stuff you own, your car, your house, insurance, man. Who you going to go with? You want a good company. There's no doubt about that. But it's an individual agent that makes things happen for you. We saw all the nightmares, all the horror stories we heard about when Michael hit, and yet people never got paid, had to sue their companies, had to do all this kind of stuff. This doesn't ever happen with Jim Dickerson and State Farm. Jim Dickerson's there for you. He does an incredible job. He's going to get you what you deserve, what you've been paying your money into. You're going to get taken care of. Jim Dickerson's unbelievable. They're number one. Give him a call, 763-4673. Jim Dickerson, 763-4673. We've been with him almost 25 years. The guy's incredible. There's no doubt about that. Hey, Wildcat, if we're going to go shopping, where are we going to go? I want some jewelry. Where are we going?
David Adamson's jewelry.
But why would I go there?
I'll tell you why. Because they design jewelry so she can have a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry that either you or her or somebody else designed. And if she's got that beautiful piece of jewelry that she lost, she loved, but she can't wear it anymore because it's broke, they'll repair it right there, right
on site,
right in front of you.
Yeah. They don't send it off to Brandt's house. They do it right there.
Right there, right. And affordably, I can attest to that.
They are incredible. We'll be right back. You listen to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
Just play the dang guitar. Uh-oh. We got it. We got it happen. Recording. birdies and beer.
See, you're depriving us of this.
That's one thing Daddy likes, and that's birdies and beer.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Kitchen Designs in Panama City Beach and Santa Rosa Beach want to help you make your dream kitchen a reality in 2024. Family owned and operated for over 20 years, they offer cabinets, countertops, flooring, and tile. Their cash and carry program offers shaker white cabinets available the very next day. Call Kitchen Designs to make your dream come true. 850-775-4150.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GEAR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
If your neighbor, employer, or grandmother were traumatized by comments made on the Coach James Hale Show.
One thing people aren't saying a whole lot about, and I'll probably get in trouble,
but just wanted to take this moment to say, get bent. We're live from the J. Michaels Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We were just talking about.
They're talking about you, super freak, man.
They was talking about Bozeman's got an opening. Every time you have an opening somewhere, it's going to affect other schools because look at Washington, look at Alabama, look at Arizona. Where one came from? Arizona State, wherever it was at. And then Harbaugh in Michigan, if he takes the. He's actually having his second in-person interview. He's interviewing with the Falcons. He is a lead. If I had this, let me think.
He loves Michigan.
I'll look this stuff up in a minute.
No, I want immunity. I want immunity if I stay.
What an innocent guy.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either.
But we'll come back to that. I don't want to get into that right now. We'll come back to him. But I do want to ask you guys, Josh Wright is sitting there right there. And if he wants the job, we'll ask Jeff, may get Jeff Patton to come on one day. I know he's getting ready to get really into baseball cranked up, but he's the AD, and I don't know if they're going to, if you've been winning and you got one of your head guys still on that staff, you really promote within, you would think. And I shouldn't say that because Jeff knows what he's doing, and we won't question whatever he decides to do or the principal decides to do. But you had a guy that's been a head football coach, he knew what he was doing, did a good job, and now we all know what a great coordinator he was. He does a great job getting kids looked at in college, makes films for them. I know this stuff for sure. I think he'd be an unbelievable head football coach at Bozeman. One guy out there I would go after, too, would be Bill Thomas at Sneads.
Yeah.
He's built a solid program there. I think he would do an unbelievable job. And that's a 1A school.
Won't have to drive the bus.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think they do? Do you think they get somebody totally outside, or they promote within? Just off the top of your head, what do you think?
If you're talking about something that would be painless, would be Josh Wright. He's already on staff. He's there.
Yeah.
He does live on the beach. He lives right down the street from me. Arnold, going to Arnold would be a lot closer. But going to Bozeman from where we live is easy. I mean, it only takes about half an hour tops.
Mm-hmm.
So that would, to me, would make the most sense logistically. It's like, we got a guy here who's been here, who's been a head coach, who did a great job with their defense this past season. He did. I got to give him credit. He did a great job. He did. Great adjustments at halftime. He did a really good job. But does he want to come back, to where he's been before? But he was the head coach, and he wouldn't be coming back as head coach. And I know for some people that would be an issue, I don't know if I was a head coach and I left, and do I want to come back as an assistant? I don't know. Everybody's different, so we'll see.
I think you send out some feelers, see who's interested. See if just kick the tires.
But you got to promote for 2 weeks,
right?
Yeah,
and does Josh want to take on that role again? I mean, it's a lot more responsibility, a lot more time. I mean, being a coordinator.
Didn't he just have a kid not too long ago?
I think so.
I can't remember.
I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. But I may be right
been that
on
long?
Maybe.
Yeah. It's not like.
But I will say this: they're in a good position. They had a tremendous season. He was on that staff. He has head coach knowledge. So just being a continuance of the staff, I think would be a good hire.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and being kind of being kind of wanting to see Arnold back. I wouldn't mind seeing him being back at Arnold.
That's a coordinator. He's a tremendous coordinator.
Yeah. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in high school football around here. And another thing sad, you used to get your kids scholarships.
Right.
Now this transfer deal, you see he's getting hurt. These high school kids, they're just not signing as many as they've done in the past.
Well, if you're Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, the usual suspects, if you can get a kid that's played 2 years in college, been in strength and conditioning programs, established himself, well, why would you go after a high school kid?
Or a week, or 2 weeks.
Since all this has been going on, I'm using Ohio State as an example because that's the one that we kind of follow.
Right.
But they talk about rankings and getting kids in. Okay, forget about the rankings of the kids coming in from high school. How do you rank? And I'm just using them as an example because they're the one who goes most in my mind. When you get like 10 starters back, you get Quinshon Judkins, you get Will Howard, you get Caleb Downs. Now, how does that figure into your recruiting number? You know, I mean, there's no high school kid that's better than Judkins, that's better than Caleb Downs.
Yeah,
they're not. Those kids aren't going to play, but those kids sure are going to play. So how do you evaluate? Well, they got 29 5 stars. I don't care how many stars you got. They're not as good as the ones that they're bringing in. That's just reality.
Well, the crazy thing is, and the reason they were so valuable is Downs got 3 years to play. He's only going to play 2 more.
2 more.
Right.
He's going to be a first round.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, yeah,
and
for
Judkins
sure.
has got 2 years to play.
Right.
So you just got 2 kids that are going to be there for a little while. So
they're not one and done.
No. And why would you go after a high school kid that's unproven, that's never, it's a different level of physicality. The biggest step, and you guys would know this more than me, is going from high school to college because you're going into grown men.
It's like night and day.
Right, yeah. I mean, you go from, playing against maybe 1 or 2 guys that look physically like that to a roster of 85 that look like that, and it's very physical. So having a guy that's already established that has that, maturity and muscle maturity and physicality is much different than bringing in a high school kid.
And experience and belief.
There's been a lot of unintended consequences of this NIL transfer combination, and none of it's been really good, to be honest.
We were talking about it. The players. Ohio State's got 3 Alabama players. Florida State's got 5 or 6.
Right. Texas got a couple.
Yeah. Well, they got our best. They got our best receiver. They got our tight end that's really good. They got I thought one of our better linebackers. They got 3 or 4 that are really good players from there. But I was getting back to Florida State. They're going to be pretty good next year. They're replacing that talent they lost. I think he's doing pretty. When you pay somebody $10 million, you better perform, and I think he's going to do so. I think, and they're going to have either path, Clemson and Florida State in the ACC. Ohio State, Michigan, things just got a lot tougher there. SEC, Alabama, Georgia, things just got a lot tougher with Oklahoma and Texas, especially Texas coming in. They're spending the money. They're spending big time money to get players right now. To me, and they have a survey out, and we got time. We'll get into this later. But since we're talking, I do want to get, how much time we got? We'll hold off on that. Jason, let's give a little bit more love to your thing. I'm sorry I was going to give you an opportunity to ask Griff, put some pressure on and say, Griff, when you coming over? When are we going to meet with you?
He's always worked with us. He allows me to come out when I do, so we'll talk when he gets over there and established, but we'll get out there and, sample and talk to them a little bit. But we do have our high school stack. This is for the off-season. This is basically our K4 creatine, which is about $24, so nothing expensive, with our Complete Mass 600. So these kids need more calories. Our Complete Mass 600 is $49.99. It's 50 grams of protein, 80 grams of carbs, 600 calories, so you can get enough food in there the day to be able to build some muscle. essential. And then our Sport Formula multivitamin with amino acids, digestive enzyme, electrolytes. It's great for anybody 12 and up. We use it for even, Little League baseball players and stuff like that. It's one of the great products that they can take and just kind of support muscle but help with energy levels. So get out to Max Fit. It's called a high school bulking stack, and it's $99.99. It's 20% off the whole stack. So that's all these kids need in the off seasons. Just get this food in, get some creatine in their system, and they'll get bigger, stronger, faster for sure.
No doubt about that. Another thing to help them get bigger, stronger, faster. Good place to take a good-looking girl with you. Beef O'Brady's in Lynnhaven, especially on Wednesday. You get those big wings. You get a side and a drink for $9.99. You can't beat that anywhere. Love Pat Perno. He does an incredible job over there running Beef O'Brady's. He's the city commissioner of Lynnhaven. Does a great job there. We're gonna start calling him mayor.
Hey, have you made him mad? He hadn't been in a while. I think you ran him off.
No,
what did you say to him?
We go there and eat lunch with him. No, he's happy. He's just a long way.
No, I know.
Being the commissioner and everything, he's really busy. But Pat, come on in, man. Love to have you back in here. I'll be over there pretty soon to come eat with him. But get out to Beef O'Brady's, have a good time. They have lunch specials every day, not just on Wednesdays. They got great food, great atmosphere. Beef O'Brady's in Lynnhaven. You talking about, he used to do so many great things, too, for the high school football in Bay County. All the coaches, we used to film our shows there and he just did a great thing for the community. Always has. Great man. Just like Dr. Chad Mitchell, next year this coming up year will be his 25th year on the sidelines of Bay County. Guy's a legend around here.
So he's not going to the transfer portal like he said on the air yesterday?
Yeah, he's thinking about transferring down to UCF. I don't know.
You have to pony up some money to keep Doc Mitchell on the sideline. Come back, Doc.
Just give him a call. He'll take care of you. Don't forget about Rudy's Barbecue on Baton Beach Road. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Lorelei Layton room in the back to have a big-time party, football banquet, you name it. You can do anything down at Rudy's Barbecue. The best barbecue anywhere. Jason, what's your favorite?
I love the brisket. That and the jalapeno cheddar sausage with the Rudy's beans. Those are my two favorite down there.
I talked to Dr. Ward yesterday. Called me. We'll have him on here tomorrow at 7:30. Getting closer and closer. We're going to be giving away those guns that he's just raffling.
What the heck is going on at the University of Florida? Does Doc Ward have that straightened out?
I informed him of a couple things, and he was pretty upset. Wasn't happy.
Vince Lombardi can come back, and they're not going to straighten that out next year.
Tell you what, Napier, we need to talk about that if we get time. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Set your alarm clock to wake up with the Coach Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida. In-depth local and college sports from expert insiders and a dash of controversy.
Can be deadly.
Weekday mornings 7 to 9.
Nothing says good morning like a drunken human alarm clock.
We're live from the J. Michaels studio.
We all know he loves the Florida Gators, but that's okay.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
I can control the world.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a moderate breeze out of the east-southeast, light rain and 63. A variety of slight fog and light sprinkles tonight, about the same at 61. Tomorrow, slightly foggy and lightly raining and a high of 68. The same at 68 Thursday, and we'll have a variety of heavy rain and slight fog. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Come on down and get in on all the Senior Bowl excitement Saturday, February 3rd. From tailgating to game day and epic Mardi Gras parades. Enjoy an action-packed Saturday leading up to a free live concert by Counting Crows at Mardi Gras Park, downtown Mobile at 8 p.m. Get your tickets for the 75th Senior Bowl today at seniorbowl.com. The draft starts in Mobile.
When he played football, helmets had not been invented yet. Players played both sides, and quarterbacks weren't afraid of needles. It's the Coach James Hale Show Live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State. Woo! FSU update brought to you by Newbies. Guess what? Newbies 2 on the Curve is open. Yes, sir. It's open back, ready to go. Get down there this weekend, watch the NFL playoff games. There's going to be a couple good games, I believe. The first game is 2:30 our time, I believe, and the second game is 5:30, I believe. I think that's correct. And real quick, the scores, if you don't know, I'm sure you all do know, but last week, Baltimore Ravens looked like the best team in football to me. 34, Houston Texans were 10, which I like the Texans. I like their head coach. I like their outside linebacker. I like their quarterback. 49ers were a great football game that was. The 49ers in Green Bay, 24-21. Green Bay goes down. Tampa Bay, 23. The Lions, 31. Congratulations to the Lions. Kansas City, 27. Buffalo, 24. Another great football game. I told my roommate Cos Blaine, we're talking, I said, the team that has the ball last is going to win. Mm-hmm. They drive down there and he misses that field goal. I was like, how many times have they missed? But
here's the thing. Even if he'd have made that, you still had a minute on the clock. You don't think
Kansas City,
Mahomes would have come back and done the same thing?
Right. Probably.
Yeah. Let's look what you say.
But how many times you seen the Buffalo get They always choke.
I know.
Yeah, they do.
It's my lifetime. It's been that way.
Yeah, they do.
All right, we got Newbies, the update for FSU. John Shard-Lovey, thank you for everything you do. Get out, Newbies, have a great time. Newbies 2 on the Curve. But go to the mothership like you do every weekend and support them. Wonderful people. Love Newbies, all three of them. Jim Bob, what do you got for us today on FSU?
Well, I saw it this morning on my phone that Mike Norvell had brought in a SEAL Team 6 member to talk to his team. I imagine it'd be about team building and playing for your brothers and all that kind of Navy SEAL kind of stuff.
Do you know how to decode signs?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think the kid's name was Stallions. I don't know. That's a whole other story. But things are going good for Florida State. It's just a crazy time. I never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that college football would get to the point where it is right now. No. And it's not just, people always criticize, like, let's use Florida State, because that was the most obvious example. They had all those guys sit out because I took my ball and went home because we didn't make the playoffs, so I'm not playing. There might have been that might have been some of it, but it's every team. I mean, every team has got this, I want my hand out, I got my hand out, I want money. And if you don't give it to me, I'm going to take the ball and go somewhere else. At some point, and we were talking about this, Jason was talking about this, it probably won't change, but they got to tweak this somehow. There's got to be some kind of limit to what you can and can't do. And I'll give you an example. I don't know if I was on the air or not, but I talked about it earlier. Isaiah Pacheco, a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champ twice in his 3 years. He makes $800,000 some dollars a year. Doesn't even make $1 million. And you have guys playing college football who are like 19, 20 years old making over $1 million. People, I'm telling you, that's wrong. That's crazy. Should those players get something? Yeah, absolutely. They should get something when they get bazillions of dollars for TV contracts and bowl contracts and all this stuff.
Right.
They should get something. But over $1 million
before you played it down in football too. In most cases.
Yeah, in many cases, it's insane. It's like, what bizarro world do we live in?
And that's not even name, image, likeness, because they haven't stepped on the field. Nobody knows their names, image, or likeness.
Yeah, that's a good. I was talking to my sister who lives out in California, and I said, when this name, image, and likeness thing all got started, it wasn't football, it was basketball.
Yeah.
At UCLA, there was those two brothers. I can't remember their name. They were really good. They didn't play for Wooden. They played after that, like in the early 2000s, maybe late 1990s. And one of them had his image on the cover of one of those. It's not Madden for basketball, but whatever that game is, where they can play.
NCAA 2K or something, I believe.
And he didn't get anything for it. He said, wait a minute now, that's my image. I should get something for that. And I said, and that kind of got the whole ball rolling. That was like 20, 25 years ago. And it's just gotten out of control. And it's not name, image, likeness. It's not. It's pay to play. It's all it is.
Let me ask this, and
for everybody.
I hijack that, but what's to stop a guy like Pacheco? Now he doesn't have any amateur status because he's getting paid in college, that he has some eligibility. Say he left as a junior, he has some eligibility in college. He's like, I'm only making $800,000 in NFL. why don't I go back to Rutgers and make $2 million? Is there anything stopping them now from doing that?
I don't think so.
I don't think there's any rules.
I don't think there's any rules. So if C.J. Stroud, he left as a junior, was like, hey, I'm going to go back and beat Michigan, what's stopping him?
Right.
I mean, there's no amateur status that says no once you get paid, because they're already getting paid in the NFL. That's just a question I was thinking in my head that I don't think ever been explained, but I just don't see it happening. But I don't know if anybody's ever explained that situation. So
yeah, somebody just texted James about the guys at UCLA. It was O'Bannon, Ed O'Bannon.
Yeah, Ed and
it was Brian,
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really good players.
Yeah,
they said, hey, how come I'm not getting a little something? And if that was really the intent, if that was really how it worked, that wouldn't be so bad.
Right.
But it's not. It's just blatant. Here's your bag of cash. We make jokes about, Jeremy Pruitt and the bags of cash at Tennessee. How's it any different than what everybody's doing right now? It's exactly the same exact thing. Yeah. It's identical.
You should have waited a year or two. He'd been all right.
Right.
I love Jeremy.
Or the ultimate irony, we talk about this all the time, Tressel getting fired and having to vacate games because his guys gave up their trinkets for tattoos.
Yeah, they're paying their...
are you kidding?
Yeah, they're taking their own rewards and memorabilia and trading it that they own for tattoos and other things. And he got a 5-year show cause, wasn't allowed to coach in the NFL. I mean, they gave him a bowl ban. I mean, the most laughable thing I've ever seen in my entire life, to be honest. I mean, that's when I knew the system was rigged and the NCAA was a joke.
So... and then the other thing now is that Florida State's fighting, and I don't know how this is ever going to be resolved. The ACC is countersuing them because you want to leave, and it's like, when's this ever going to get worked out?
Right.
Are they going to go to the Big Ten? They definitely don't want them in the SEC. So I don't know how it's ever going to be resolved. I don't.
I think they're going to bide some time. They got the easiest road to the college football playoff right now.
They've been Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, you win one game, you're 11-1, you're going to be in, and
that's like
playoff.
And that gives me back to the new playoff thing. I'm sorry, you get the 12 ranked teams, the top 12 go. The hell with the conference championships. All conferences are not created equal.
Oh, they're not.
And I think it's a joke. You're going to have the same problem we had this year. Somebody's going to be left out that should be in because you got to take the Big 12. They're going to Central Florida's in great shape, man. They're recruiting a lot better right now. Don't laugh. One day they're going to be a threat one day.
Oh, they'll make it one day. Yeah, well, with 12 teams, yeah.
Well, they got to put a group of 5 team in there now. I think that's one of the criteria. They put one group of 5 teams.
But why? The Big Ten SEC now.
Exactly.
SEC commissioner, I think he's going to stand up and flex his muscle. I think. In the Big Ten and SEC, they get up and they go, "No, we're going to have the best 12 teams, or we're not going to participate." Then they have to do what they want.
Right.
They are the college football. Those two programs run college football.
They're driving behind the college football playoff. They're the driving force. ESPN is,
so
SEC.
They can make it. If those two commissioners got to the board and said, "Look, we don't want to leave out," let's say Michigan gets in Ohio State and Oregon, just for argument's sake, and Penn State should have got it. We don't want Penn State left out. Penn State needs to be in.
Right.
And same thing with the SEC. We got Texas. We got Georgia. We got LSU. We don't want Alabama left out, even though they're not having a very good year. They are still one of the 13th best, 12 best teams in the country. They can make that stuff happen.
But do you take an 8-4 Penn State team that played, USC, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, or do you take Clemson that maybe played, Florida State, and that's it?
That's what I'm saying.
And has 2 losses.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's going to happen.
And we don't have and we saw this last year, we don't have a committee that's qualified enough to make those decisions. Let's be honest. I mean, they don't know enough about football to make those type of decisions. I mean,
why would you schedule a tough schedule? Look at Michigan. They played 3 tough games at the end of the year.
Right.
The 3 best teams they played were all the last game of the year.
Yeah, straight to schedule. You got to throw that out because it means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
The schedule wins.
But I think the SEC and Big Ten have hurt themselves in that aspect because there is no easy schedule left in those 2 conferences.
Not anymore.
This is why it's really important for the committee to get these right, because you are going to have some 3-loss teams in those conferences that are way better than the teams in these, probably better than the conference
So is there going to be like the unwritten rule, because now it was, and you can't ever have a 2-loss team? Well, with 12 teams, it's going to be you can't ever have a 3-loss team?
I think that's what it's going to be. I really do.
Yeah.
They've lost 3 games.
Depending upon who they play.
Okay, they lost to Ohio State, lost to Oregon, they lost to Michigan by a total of 10 points.
Right.
And you're going to hold them out. And you're going to put Oklahoma State in that's 10-2.
or a TCU or Central Florida, Cincinnati, somebody.
Right.
You get 2 or 3 of those
NC
in there,
State.
you're going to see some ugly games, man.
Yeah.
I mean, those. And if you follow recruiting, and all of us do, you can see how these rosters are constructed. Like TCU, Cincinnati may have 5 or 6 4-star players on the entire roster. Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, all these teams, they have 50 or 60. They got 10 5-star. I mean, these teams are loaded and have depth.
And we said it back then, and nothing is to see Cincinnati. They had a really good team that year.
Right.
But if they played week in, week out, like the Big Ten, the SEC, they wouldn't have been there.
No.
It's just a fact. I mean, anyway. All right, we'll be right back. Let's talk about some of our great people like Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, 3 restaurants to run, the best pizza you'll get anywhere, all about the crust and the ingredients. It's really good. And then they got the deli, they got the bakery, try the Napoleon, try the Paradise Cake, the Carrot Cake. They got it all right down there. And John's a retired police officer. For that reason alone, need to pack the place out. Get down to Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, tell them Coach Cindy, they got lunch specials every day. It's like Michigan Day said the other day, their 2 slices of pizza is like a whole pizza. I mean, it's crazy. And a drink for like $11, $20, something like that. You can't beat it. Get down to Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, tell them Coach sent you. Also, I want to thank John and Charlotte again for Newbies. Get out to Newbies, have a great time. 3 great locations, Newbie 2 in the Curve, and also the Mothership. Also, don't forget about Dr. Ward, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, don't put it off. Go get it checked out. 5 minutes can save your life. We'll have him in tomorrow at 7:30. We'll be right back. Alabama, Auburn coming up next. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, anyplace, anywhere.
The sports talk and live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite sports talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a moderate breeze out of the east-southeast, light rain and 63. A variety of slight fog and light sprinkles tonight, about the same at 61. Tomorrow, slightly foggy and lightly raining and a high of 68. The same at 68 Thursday, and we'll have a variety of heavy rain and slight fog. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Everyone makes New Year's resolutions. However, most folks seldom fulfill those resolutions. This new year, one of your #1 resolutions should be a visit to that boot store. And be sure you follow through or you'll miss out on the tremendous savings on one of the largest selections of Western wear and work clothes in the area. That boot store open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. That boot store next to Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street in Panama City. Remember, God is good all the time.
College basketball lives here. WGSX Lynn A, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Alabama Update, right by Stevens Air Conditioning. Anytime, day or night, Jason will have his crew out there and take care of you. Any issues, I guarantee you that. Another local company in Panhandle, Florida, taking care of all these locals right here. Make sure you don't use these national companies. Let's go with local. Let's take care of the local people here. And Stevens Air Conditioning, definitely local. All right, Alabama Update. Alabama Crimson Tide, all the negative that's happened. You know, if we lost, I guess the count now is 28-29. I can't even keep up with it, how many players we've lost. Coach DeBoer says, don't worry about it. We're going to be fine. He's not even concerned. And that's what he's truly saying. That's what he believes. And he's got a lot to learn in the SEC. I honestly, I was in Birmingham. They broke in live TV and showed him landing, the plane landing. And they did what they did when Nick was there. A lot of people were there. I think it shocked him and his wife and family. I think they were surprised by that. And he was good. He went about the fence with all the people, shook their hands, and took some time with everybody. Did a pretty good job in the press conference. They have it now. They used to do it in the Mount Morris Center. Now they did it in the stadium, one of the big end zone ballrooms, whatever you call it, up there. They had a lot of people in there. The big money people there. He did a good job recognizing Nick and said all the right things. Miss Terry was there. It was pretty. Everything's good, no doubt about that. This is just me talking. I like him. I think he's a great hire. There's no doubt about that. But I'm sitting there watching him and everything he's doing. I'm going, I really wonder, does he realize what he's got himself into?
Right.
Because you go back, I mentioned it yesterday, you go back and look at the history of following the legend. Newt Rockne did not work out after him. Paul Bear Bryant did not work out.
John Wooden,
UCLA.
Bobby Knight.
Yeah, and then
Woody Earl?
Look at Nebraska. Tom Osborne. Who was the guy that followed? The little guy that followed him did a good job. Won 10 games. He went to Iowa.
Solich.
Frank Solich. He did a good job.
Ohio.
And then Brian Callahan went and was winning 10 games a year, and that wasn't good enough.
Bo Pelini.
And now,
Bo Pelini, yeah.
Now they wish they could win 10 games.
Oh,
of course,
sure.
I always say they got into a real conference. That's the difference
Now,
there.
I want to give a shout out to your wife who posted one of the best. I don't think it was her. She just forwarded it. But
She thought it up. She
said, this is really good. She goes, here's the good, I'm just paraphrasing here. Here's the good thing about Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. When he wins the championship, no one will be able to say that he used Nick Saban's players. I said, true. That's really good. And that's true.
That is true.
You think about it.
When I heard this hire, this is what I thought. I thought that's a Grand Slam hire for where they're at. You know what I'm saying? But Alabama fans aren't patient. They're going to have to be patient because this is the most unique retirement in college football history because it was Nick Saban, but we have the portal and NIL that's causing, throwing gasoline on that fire. But I think DeBoer is going to build a tremendous team. I think he's a tremendous coach. I think he's the best.
If they leave him alone.
If they leave him alone. But
they won't.
Are you patient enough to leave him alone for 2-3 years, build his roster? Because he's going to develop quarterbacks. He's going to get receivers. Right now, he just doesn't have the right name recognition in the region, and I thought that may have been a mistake by the Alabama, AD.
Now, wait a minute. Time out. I'm going to call you out.
Well, I was going to say,
did you not tell me that Brian Kelly is not a good fit? He's not from the South.
I did.
DeBoer, where's he from?
South Dakota.
He's not from the South.
I know.
Well, maybe South Dakota, but he's not from the South. Is he a good fit?
I think he's a better overall coach than Brian Kelly is. I think Brian Kelly's overrated as a coach. I think he's caps himself at a certain level, and he couldn't get over the hump at Notre Dame. I don't see him getting over the hump at LSU. DeBoer did it with Washington. I mean, he went and played, two tremendous teams, beat Texas, played Michigan toe-to-toe. He's 114-11 over, 3 different divisions, won, 4 national titles or something in other divisions. This is a guy that's proven it on the field. The only difference I would have said is if you wanted to kind of extend what Saban was doing, I think Kiffin may have been a smarter hire because I think you keep more of your players, but is Kiffin a better coach than DeBoer long term?
The things he did when he was, and I wanted him. I'm with you. Right. I want him there. Maybe he'll get it afterwards when this group is running the show now is out of there. If this falls apart, I think he'll have a better opportunity down the road. But when you get fired the day before the national championship or the day after, whatever it was, I can't remember now, the things he did, they have not forgotten.
Right.
And there's things.
That was before the Alabama-Ohio State Sugar Bowl, wasn't it?
No, it was Alabama in. Was that?
I thought it was because Sarkisian came in and called the plays.
Probably Clemson.
It was Clemson. It was Clemson. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't Ohio State.
Okay.
He was the OC for that game. We got beat anyway.
Well, I appreciate him.
Yeah.
I appreciate him in that game.
Do you think he's a good fit?
Who, DeBoer?
DeBoer.
Yeah, I do. And we were talking about this before when I talked to Jeff Spiegel. I brought up this point. When you were up in the mountains, I said, why? If you're a quarterback, this is why I couldn't understand why everybody was bailing on Alabama. You're playing for one of the elite programs in the country. Forget about who your head coach. I mean, you can't. But I mean, just take Nick Saban out of it. DeBoer took Michael Penix from Indiana when nobody knew who, pretty much nobody. I mean, it's not like he was a complete unknown, but he didn't really do anything. He takes it. They passed for more yards the last 2 years than any team in the nation. So if you're a quarterback That's why, to me, it didn't make any sense. I'm glad he went to Ohio State. But why would Julian Sand want to leave Alabama? Michael Penix threw for more yards the last 2 years than anybody in college football. Why would you? Why, if you're a receiver, running back, not running back, but why would you not want to play for that?
Yeah.
And you're playing in front of 100,000 people every game. and then you say, this one doesn't make any sense. Well, but I didn't know those coaches. And you know the coaches at Ohio State?
Right. They're called Benjamin Franklin.
I'm just saying.
Coach Franklin.
They have all this double speak, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I think it was a trickle-down effect. I think once a couple guys got in there, everybody started, the ball started rolling.
Didn't you tell me that O'Brien recruited him when he was at Alabama?
Yes,
I posted that.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
That
makes sense.
That's the connection.
That makes sense.
I think that's why they went after
that and the money.
Yeah.
All
that was a connection.
But
speaking of what you just hit on, and really, I'm not being negative about Coach DeBoer. I think he's going to do a great job. I just hope the people. But Alabama people, it's different.
Let me tell you what I did.
This is why
if he wins, everything will be all right.
That's why I always thought Brian Kelly might be a bad fit, because you're talking about an outsider. These people have had control of these programs, the boosters and everything for decades. They like to do their things a certain way. They don't want an outsider coming in and telling them what to do. That's the only reason I thought Brian Kelly would be a bad coach. Not because he's a bad coach, because of all the stuff he's going to have to deal with behind the scenes. And I think DeBoer is going to be a little bit different at Alabama. I think Alabama has a way better support system. I think Saban being there with having his back is going to be much different. But it's going to take time to get his players in there, his system. But let's be honest. I'm a Ohio State fan. They had the best wide receiver core in the country last year. Washington did. If you look at the Dunsey, their second and third string guys.
Their offensive line was good.
Their offensive line was good.
We got their center.
Their defense was more physical. If you look at that Michigan game, they actually held up pretty good through about 3 quarters. That game didn't get busted open until late in the third quarter. So it's not like they got blown out. So
their defense couldn't stand up.
No.
That was the problem.
But he'll get way better players at Alabama on defense than he's getting at Washington.
We'll see how it works out. But this is what he's done so far. Washington quarterback Austin Mack is following his former head coach to Alabama. That's a good thing. Alabama already has a starting quarterback in Heisman Trophy candidate Jalen Milroe. Let me tell you something now. I said yesterday, it won't shock me because this guy's he's a pretty tough guy. He's going to play the best players in his system. I don't think he's going to tweak it too much. If he can't throw the ball, he didn't get rid of the ball quick, make the right choices, right decisions, I don't think he'll be the starting quarterback in the middle of the year.
That Milroe doesn't do.
That's not Milroe's game.
No, that's what I'm telling you.
He's a runner that can throw the deep ball, but he doesn't have that intermediate, quick pace, get the ball out fast.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, go.
Supposedly, the Mack kid is who DeBoer loved because supposedly they sat down with Sam and said, hey, this is our guy. We're bringing him in, and that's one of the reasons he entered the portal because supposedly he wanted to stay.
Yeah, the article I'm talking about, they're talking about that Mack will probably be the next quarterback after Milroe graduates. I'm like, just hold on about that. Right. He could be starting halfway through the season.
I agree with that.
Jalen was the starting quarterback, and then all of a sudden they changed it.
It's a completely different offense. It's an air raid.
So that won't shock me if that happens. And everybody's saying you're crazy. No way. If he's a passing, and like you said, they throw the ball more than anybody else did. And if he's going to throw the ball on the field, you got to have a quarterback that can throw it and make the right choices, right decision, get rid of the football, and get your reads. And if it's not getting done, and you got a kid and this is another thing about this Mack kid. Austin Mack knows his system. He knows his offense. He knows these reads. He already knows it. Jalen's got to learn this stuff.
And he was a top 70 player in the country. I mean, he's not like he was a scrub. I mean, the kid was a high-end 4-star, and they love him.
All right. Now, this kid we're talking about, Austin Mack, he did not play in 2023. They redshirted him, okay? He's got 4 years left. He's only 17 years old as we speak. 17 years old. Wow. He's 6'6", 226 pounds, big, strong, has ability, a lot of potential. He turns 18 in June of 2024. So he's just a puppy.
Yeah.
He's going to be a big old boy. He is out of Loomis, California, wherever that's at. Now, his senior year in high school, he completed 269 passes. He threw 382 passes for 3,498 yards, 40 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. And the head football coach, like you pointed out, this is what he said about him. He is super excited about having him. The guy can play. We really think the world of this young man. NFL scout, some NFL scouts said Mac is a gigantic 6'6". He's going to be 240. He wears 17. His foot's 17 inches.
Wow.
That's a big old boy. He's got some growing to do. He's just 17 years old. He's bright. He's smart. He knows what he's doing with the football. He's going to be he's definitely going to be an NFL prospect. He knows Washington's offense, which is now Alabama's offense. So we'll see how it's going to play out. It would shock people, I think, if they go through spring practice and for the first game gets here, if he's not the quarterback, Milroe's not the quarterback, that would shock Alabama fans. But I'm like, you know what? If you're going to throw the ball to the field, you play the best quarterback.
Right.
So we'll see. And everybody think you're crazy. Milroe's this, Milroe's that. He's a great runner. He can throw the deep ball, but he is not a drop back passer.
And that's what hurt him against Michigan. That really did hurt them against Michigan because Michigan was able to key on that and attack him in the backfield. Where if you can get those quick passes out, those slants, those little outs and digs.
All right, suppose you guys real quick. What does he do? Does he tweak the offense and use his skill sets more, or does he go and does what he believes in? Throw the ball to the field. What does he do? You always adjust your offense for what you have personnel. We know that. But if you got a guy behind him that knows it and he's getting it done, what do you do?
I think he's going to start with Milroe and see how far he can ride that horse. And then if it doesn't work out, then you got your guy to fall back on.
I think you're going to have packages for both. Milroe's got a unique skill set, even if he doesn't earn the starting job as far as the guy you want back there throwing passes on third down. He's got to have some packages. He's just such a tremendous runner and dangerous weapon. So I think they're going to definitely start with Milroe. He's a great quarterback coach. Penix was nowhere near the quarterback in Indiana as when he got to Washington. So we may see a jump in Milroe like we saw in Hurts.
Right.
Once he got some better coaching, we left Alabama.
He went to Oklahoma.
I'm just kidding.
And Bo Nix went to Oregon. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I do think this kid that they're bringing in is the real deal.
Well, hopefully we'll have a Joe Burrow that he leaves one school that doesn't know what they're doing and comes down south and he learns how to throw the football.
We got 4 guys on our roster right now that have 4 years.
Y'all gonna need them.
You want one?
Yes, I can have one back. We just lost.
Sam might be back.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Hey, seriously, Steve's air conditioners. Jason, you talk about them. You use them. They do a great job.
Yeah, I've had a couple issues just with my old air conditioners, and they were able to come back with it in 24 hours, help me out fix it. So that's why I always use local people, because they know the people in the community. They get out there, and you don't have to wait 10 days. You don't have to talk to somebody in Illinois for them to schedule an appointment. So they were out there fast. They fixed it. They saved me a lot of money. We actually put a new unit in. It saves me money every day I use it. So appreciate them. He's a great guy if you've ever talked to him.
Local.
Yep,
Local. Right
absolutely.
You want your yard to look beautiful, Turpro Pest Control. Give Patrick a call. They'll be out and make it look beautiful. They did a great job at our place. All your insurance needs on your home, on your house, whatever. Jim Dickerson's #1. It's all about the agent. You got to have a good company. State Farm is pretty good, but it's about your agent. Jim Dickerson is the agent around here. No doubt about that. Almost 25 years of him. Give him a call, 763-4673. Jim Dickerson, 763-4673. He is #1. Not even close. And again, we talked about it a minute ago, Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. If you love pizza, we might get one tonight. They're incredible. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli is #1. Not even close. We're right back, 104.3. We get back, Auburn Tigers. Brought to you by Beef O'Brady's. And Andy Burcham. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
She says, tell me that image isn't worth millions.
Hey, I was having a bad day. That was awesome. A bad day. I look bad.
Let me ask you something. After looking at this picture, what are you going to do about a face when the baboon wants his ass back?
Weekday mornings 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a moderate breeze out of the east-southeast, light rain and 63. A variety of slight fog and light sprinkles tonight, about the same at 61. Tomorrow, slightly foggy and lightly raining and a high of 68. The same at 68 Thursday, and we'll have a variety of heavy rain and slight fog. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they'll get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
It moves fast. The High School Spotlight. Weekdays at 5:40.
Let's do it.
Sponsored by Barbaritos. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle! Woo! Brought to you by Beef O'Grays and Lynn Haven. Get out to Lynn Haven. If you're over there, have a great meal, Beef O'Grays. Don't forget, every Wednesday, 10 wings, drinking aside for $9.99. Pat Perno, City Commissioner, does a great job and everything he does. But get to Beef O'Grays. We got a huge basketball game coming up. You can watch it at Beef O'Grays Wednesday and have the wing special. It's the Iron Bowl of basketball. Let's bring on the voice of the Auburn Tigers, the legendary Andy Bertram. Andy, how you doing, sir?
James, I'm doing well, thank you. I hope you are as well.
Andy, I don't know if did you ever see the movie Jeremiah Johnson?
A long time ago.
Well, I went up to the mountains and I tried that out. I lived off the land for about 3 or 4 days in that cold weather, and I decided to come on back down to Panama City Beach and do radio because that's too tough of a life. I couldn't. We were up in the mountains, Andy. We were locked in for 2 days. You couldn't move, go outside, ice, snow. It was incredible. But then we got to go out and do some things. We were in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. And I thought about you when I was up there. I really did. How okay. I hadn't talked to you in a while. Have you been doing okay besides running all over the country doing basketball? You been doing good?
I'm doing well, thank you. We'll talk later about what reminded me of, or whatever. Why did you think of me in Pigeon Forge?
All right, we will talk later then, buddy.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another day.
All right, man. Well, I tell you what, AP poll just came out. The Auburn Tigers, they're ranked, I believe, 8th, Kentucky 6th, and Tennessee number 5. 3 teams in the top 10 out of the SEC. Auburn beats Ole Miss 82-59, and now the big one, we got it Wednesday night. Andy, tell us about what's been going on with basketball. What do you think? How do you think things play out Wednesday night? Give us a little breakdown about Auburn and the last game and what's coming up this week.
Yeah, Auburn comes off perhaps one of its best games of this season, really dominated Ole Miss at Auburn. Auburn still goes to Ole Miss in early February, so Ole Miss will have another shot at the Tigers in Oxford later. This Auburn team's playing really well right now. 11 straight wins for Auburn, the only undefeated team in the SEC right now at 5-0. As you mentioned, in the top 10 this week in both the AP and the coaches polls. And tomorrow's matchup in Tuscaloosa is a matchup of 2 top 10 teams when it comes to the NCAA net and the Ken Palm poll. Both of these teams are in the top in the top 10 at this point. So should be a great battle. Both of these teams can really score. Alabama, one of the best scoring teams in the country. Certainly one of the best and most frequent three-point shooting teams in the country as well. And you can expect that Coleman Coliseum will be a raucous atmosphere tomorrow night. I think there are a lot of Auburn people trying to get tickets for this game, but this will be a very, very tough game. I think it will be Auburn's toughest game to date when it goes to Alabama tomorrow night.
Andy, I got to ask you a question, too. I don't know if they still do this or not. Usually when they play the Iron Bowl basketball, they give the trophy, and I forgot what it's called, to the team that won the football Iron Bowl. Do they still do that?
I believe they do, yes. They'll typically do it at halftime of the game on its home floor. So I would guess that Alabama will have that opportunity to do that tomorrow night. Yes.
Yeah, I remember they used to do that. I didn't know how it worked out. It was a home team, whatever. But anyway, I'm sorry I even brought that up. But how do you feel about this game? What do you think about Alabama?
I think Alabama's very good. Alabama played a very, very tough non-conference schedule. I mean, they played the likes of Purdue, and they played the likes of Creighton. So, I mean, a very, very tough non-conference schedule. 4-1 in the SEC. Alabama's only loss was last Saturday at Tennessee. Tennessee won that game handily against the Crimson Tide. But you've got the leading scorer in the Southeastern Conference in Mark Sears. They're deep. They're much deeper than most teams coming off the bench. And they shoot the three, and they shoot it well. It's an Alabama team shooting almost 49% from the field and almost 40% from three. And that's significant because they don't just take a three-pointer here or there. They take tons of three-pointers. And they shoot the ball very well from the free throw line. This is a team that makes over 11 threes a ball game. So if they get rolling, they can be very, very tough to keep up with.
Right.
It will be Alabama's offense against what has become a very good Auburn defense.
All right. I have not, like I said, I've been out of the loop for a week or a little bit over a week. What about this Auburn basketball team? Is this the team that we've had 3 or 4 years ago that was elite, or do this team have a chance to be elite? How good is Auburn's basketball team in your opinion?
I think this team has a chance to become elite for a couple different reasons. It is playing defense at a very, very good rate. It is a team that typically goes in, and even against these high-scoring offenses, has become one of the best defensive teams, not only in the SEC, but in the country. And I'm not sure there is a team in the country that can match Auburn's depth. Auburn is 11 strong. Bruce Pearl will use all 11 players. There's not a drop-off when that second wave of Auburn players comes in. He can mix and match from his depth, and they're getting very good play at the point guard spot. Jalen Williams should be in the conversation for SEC Player of the Year and the way he is at shooting. And Janai Broome has just been a force on the inside. And then you add a guy like Dylan Cardwell, who goes in with back-to-back 12-point games, which are career highs for Dylan. So this team just is playing well. It has a huge ceiling, a high ceiling. But the schedule does pick up now. I mean, you've got Alabama on the road tomorrow night. You've got Mississippi State on the road on Saturday. You come back home for Alabama. Then you go to Ole Miss, and you know Ole Miss will be ready when Auburn gets there. You get Alabama at home. You go to Florida, where Auburn has not played well traditionally. You get a much-improved South Carolina team. You've got Kentucky, which is one of those top 5, top 10 teams that you were talking about earlier. And then back-to-back games at Georgia and Tennessee, and that gets you through the month of February. So the schedule picks up for Auburn significantly starting tomorrow night at Alabama.
And let me ask you this, because I haven't kept up with it much. We just got through a college football. But as far as Auburn, did they use the transport, have kids transfer in, or did they just go mainly through the high school ranks? Because I really, truly hadn't kept up with basketball as much as football as far as a transfer deal.
No, Auburn has used both. I mean, Aiden Holloway, the outstanding point guard, freshman point guard, was a 5-star recruit, one of Auburn's highest ranked recruits ever. But Auburn brought in Denver Jones from Florida International, and he's starting every game for Auburn. They're bringing guys off the bench, Chad Baker-Mazzara, who's quickly become a fan favorite, who transferred in from Northwest Florida State, but has also played at San Diego State and Duquesne. Chaney Johnson, who made the move up from Division II, from Alabama Huntsville to Auburn. So, yeah, there are guys that it's a mixture of both. Auburn has 2 commitments for next year, 2 high school commitments for next year. But I don't see a day where Auburn doesn't use that transfer portal. I mean, Janai Broom, who's now in his second season at Auburn, of course, transferred in from Morehead State. So it's a little bit of both right now, James.
Okay, we got about 1 minute. I got to ask you real quick. Is it anything been official yet on the new defensive coordinator at Auburn?
No. I mean, you know all the names out there that are being bandied about, but nothing official. I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of days if we don't learn that, but at this point, no, not at this point.
Okay, Andy. Hey, Andy, thank you so much. Good luck to you, and we'll talk to you next week, buddy. Thank you.
Guys, have a great day. Thank you. War Eagle.
War Eagle. The great one, Andy Bertram. Auburn Updates have been brought to you by Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. You want to have a great meal, get out to Lynn Haven. Beef O'Brady's anytime you want. Pat does it right. Love the people. Love the atmosphere. Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Get out to have a great time. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. You want to look better and feel better? Go see Jason Kovaleski. He knows what he's doing. 5 minutes will save your life. Go see Dr. Ward. I just saw something that doesn't look right. It definitely doesn't feel right. This individual needs to go see Dr. Ward. He's wearing some Michigan outfit on. 5 minutes can save your life, Michigan Eddie. Go see Dr. Ward. We'll be right back. Hopefully we'll get the legend in here to talk to us a little bit. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Must. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sports fans, we love our teams, but let's talk real estate for a moment. Meet Berg Title, your trusted local real estate title and escrow company. Based in downtown Panama City, Berg Title knows the community inside out. They handle everything from title searches to escrow services with expertise. Honest, reliable, and here to make your real estate journey smooth. Remember, it's Berg Title. Call them at 850-250-2900. That's Berg Title, your partner for a worry-free real estate experience in Panama City and Panama City Beach.
Hi, folks. I'm Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Love is in the air at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, and what better way to celebrate love than with a beautiful piece of jewelry? Our Valentine collection combines the most popular trends and top sellers with the largest selection at the best prices. From exquisite fine jewelry to our most trendy and affordable sterling silver pieces, we're sure to have the perfect gift to melt her heart. Folks have trusted us for 50 years to make their Valentine sparkle. This year, make it sparkle even more with a gift from Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
I'm not prepared. I really am not prepared at all.
I hope you won't judge me on one email I sent 10 years ago.
My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
Not after spicy or food
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Michigan Eddie has joined us this morning. How he got into the door, we'll discuss this later.
Talk security.
Yeah.
Ohio State's offensive line broke down again.
Yeah. Jim Harbaugh, second interview in person with the Atlanta Falcons. He is linked to the L.A. Chargers job. Vegas odds. This is coming out of Las Vegas now. If you want to make some money, listen to us right here. Minus 300 to become the next head football coach of the Chargers. Plus 500 to be the next head football coach of the Falcons. Plus 2,500 to be the Washington, what do they call now?
Commanders.
Commanders, yeah.
You mean the Redskins?
Yeah, the Redskins. There you go. I'm not going to change it. You're right.
You know,
this guy's racist right here.
The Native Americans want the name changed back.
Most people, these political groups.
All right. Now listen. The stays at Michigan plus 175. So, what, Michigan? Tell us? You talk to Vegas all the time. They always talking to you.
Yeah, they're talking to him.
What's going to happen? What is he going to do? Tell us what he's going to do.
No one knows what he's going to do except for Jim Harbaugh himself. He's taking counsel from the Lord. He's taking counsel from his dad and his wife Sarah. And I'll tell you, from all reports I've heard, he wants to stay at Michigan, but it's got to have those clauses in the contract.
Why does he have to have a clause in the contract if he did anything wrong?
No, he's innocent, but even the NCAA is a witch hunt like they're doing to Trump, right? You know what I mean? They can come after you.
That's a stretch there.
No, but I'm just saying. It's true. I mean, they come after you whether you're innocent or guilty or whatever.
Or they have
you want to have protection that your employer has your back.
Right.
So it is what it is. So he's got to get those clauses in there. You know?
Oh, and because you're a Michigan alumni, do you want those clauses in there, or don't you want the right thing to happen? If he did something wrong, do we really want him up there in Michigan?
Oh, Lord.
I'm just asking. I don't know what you think. I'm just asking.
Well, we're still innocent until proven guilty in this country.
But what if
I'll tell you, the cricket, if Michigan did do anything of sign stealing or whatever, it's kind of crickets how the majority of the coaches are crickets too, because they're probably doing the exact same thing.
But no,
level the playing field. And here's the thing, J.J. McCarthy said that it was Ohio State that was actually started the whole sign stealing back in 19 and 20. And Jim Bob, Catapult. Have you researched Catapult?
And he was in high school in 2019.
So can we clear up the
time?
No, it wasn't. He was a freshman.
Hey, time out.
He was a freshman.
Listen. One talk.
And they didn't play in 2020.
Jim, go ahead. One person. We got a phone call.
So
let's take this phone call.
I want to debunk
innocent people don't want immunity. That's all I'm saying.
Good morning, Coach.
Hi, how you doing?
Can you tell the children? Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm trying to calm them down here when one person talks at a time.
Yeah, tell them children to be quiet. I mean, you were a successful secondary ed teacher.
That's right.
Don't take garbage off them.
Exactly.
Listen, there's a terrible rumor. Yeah. Hey, let's don't go there, okay? I got paddled 27 times in 7th grade. I'm scarred by it. Anyway, I tell you what, I'd been in the French Foreign Legion if they hadn't paddled me, which my parents would have liked that. There's a rumor that's going around up here in Arkansas. It's related to Auburn mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Razorbacks are looking at a nickname change. They're going to call themselves the Matadors because of the way they play defense. Hey,
rim shot for you.
They can credit South Carolina too, because I don't know if y'all been talking basketball. I know y'all all football heads, but South Carolina had over 70 points on dunks and layups last week. Now, hope springs eternal. The Hogs are headed to Oxford, a place not really known for basketball, but I don't have much hope for them actually. But just think, it was 10 months. This is the fickleness of sports. 10 months ago, Eric Musselman is standing half naked on the sidelines after he busted everybody's bracket by defeating Kansas. Think about it. That really happened. And then now he's 1-4 in the SEC. Lost to North Carolina, Greensboro. I mean, it could have something to do with the 11 transfers he brought in through the portal or whatever it was.
He brought the wrong ones in.
Right.
Yeah, they're 10 and 8 overall.
The guys. Yeah. Here's the thing. Almost every college basketball player thinks they're going to play in the pros.
Right.
I was, a lot of people think I joke about being in college athletics, but I was at a very small school, and I'm not going to talk about, doesn't even matter, but we had a JV player there who I'm talking to at a varsity game, and he's thinking the coach is treating him badly because he could play in the pros. I'm like, what pro league are you talking about? The Eastern Turkey League or what,
Playing in Albania.
Exactly. You're right, Coach Jim Bob. Thank you. All right. Now, I got one other story about it, because Georgia is now my new target. We had a 6-string JV running back from Georgia who some assistant position coach had recruited just to get his Pell Grant, probably. I think. I'm speculating, but I'm not going to call names, so I can speculate. So he's in my class one day, and it's not a hard class. It was Intro to Criminal Justice,
Yeah.
And so he's having trouble with the final. And I don't know why he's trying, because he's going to fail anyway. And so I'm talking to him, and I said, hey, college isn't for everybody. He goes, yeah, you may be right. I said, can you name anyone that's on Mount Rushmore? He goes, you know what Mount Rushmore was? I got to give him credit for that. He goes, I said, well, maybe I had to explain to him. It's the mountain's got the president's faces carved in. He said, he said, that George guy? I'm like, no, Boy George isn't up there. Ha, 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 ha. No, he's talking about
George
Washington.
Bush.
Yeah, exactly. Which one?
George Clooney.
Thank you. George Clooney. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, but here's the thing. Where do dumb kids and bad kids come from?
Michigan.
Dumb parents.
Traverse, Joint Base,
Montgomery, Alabama.
That's right.
That's
Montgomery.
a good point, Eddie. Thank you.
Montgomery.
That's a great point. They come from Fairview Heights, whatever. I don't know, wherever. What neighborhood are you from, James?
Fairview.
You don't live there anymore. You can tell it. Okay.
Well, I lived over in Fairview at Trading Park at one time, and then we moved over near Narrow Lane Road by South Johnson. Yeah.
Oh, let me ask you something about that. You mentioned Narrow Lane Road. Some people get blamed for being anti-Semites because they, might make a bad joke about Auschwitz or something. But did you actually attempt to sneak into the Standard Club on the Sabbath, play golf?
No.
You didn't? Okay, it was somebody else. Did you consume an entire chocolate meringue pie at Martin's?
No.
That wasn't you?
No.
If it was Peach Culber, the answer would have been yes.
Well, he knows what Martin's is. Martin's is on the corner of what? It's right there. It's right there near the 17th tee of Montgomery Country Club. Did you ever sneak on Montgomery Country Club?
Yes, I did do that.
Okay, I did too.
Yeah.
All right. I never violated the sanctity of the Standard Club. I wouldn't do that anyway, because there's only 9 holes. But he asked me, why do you know so much about Montgomery, Coach? Well, I went to school there, and I coached there a lot. I probably spent more nights in Montgomery, and don't hold it against me, in the 90s and 2000s than maybe Governor Wallace did. I don't know. Fill in the
I was long.
Anyway,
gone,
y'all have
man.
you were long gone.
Gone.
Let me ask you something. Eddie, did you hear that rumor that Brian shot down the other day that they're going to go after Harbaugh?
No, I didn't hear that. I must have missed that. But everyone's going after Harbaugh, but nothing's sticking. He's like the NCAA football's Trump. You can let him all you want. Nothing's going to stick, baby. Nothing's going to stick.
Hey, you know what I saw Harbaugh do one time as a player?
Pick his nose.
He was at a March for Life rally this weekend, by the way. Just saying.
Well, I tell you what. I think I saw him beat Alabama at the old Sombrero back in the end of the 85.
Hang up. hang the phone up.
Go Vols. Bye.
Bye. Isn't the old Sombrero? That's a Sun Bowl, right?
All right. Let's go back
old
one
Sombrero.
time.
Rose Bowl.
Let's get this straight. Did Ohio, and this one at a time talk now, because we can't all yell on the thing. Did Ohio State start this mess?
No, because the quote J.J. McCarthy did doesn't even add up on the timeline. He wasn't at Michigan in 2019, and we didn't play in 2020 because of COVID. So
they
he just admitted that they cheated based on something that he wasn't even involved in or didn't happen. So that's why we all laughed when they bring these, what's the other one?
Actually, he was a recruit, so he wasn't playing there, but that's when it started. He didn't have to play there to say, hey, this is when Ohio State started, whatever.
He didn't have to be on the team to know that another team was stealing their signs.
But everyone out there, research Catapult, and just it speaks
what
for
is
itself.
It again? Say it again.
This is another story their administration made up to try to blame everybody.
And it's like Buckeyes made up about Stallions and stealing signs. It was Day and Purdue and somebody else that started that mess.
13 schools out of 14. The only school that didn't turn you in was Michigan.
I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good, Coach, because it's your show.
I'm just spitting the facts. So is anything going to be disputed?
How many schools are there?
14.
No. How many schools total are there in D1 football?
130 something.
Yeah.
But all the teams in the Big Ten turned them in.
Exactly. Why is that? Because they're jealous.
What?
Oh, okay.
We're whooping that keister. Anyway, innocent until proven guilty. That's why I'm withholding judgment.
Okay. Now, if they do come back and find you guys are guilty, I'm just saying, will you be okay them taking away the national championship?
if they're guilty and all that, then justice has to prevail.
Being fair.
Well, let me ask you this: aren't they already guilty? Why?
But I'll tell you, if Michigan's guilty, there's a lot of other schools going down. It's going to be the Titanic of college football.
I don't believe that.
I
think every coach has come out and said, look, the level at what they did, recording the sidelines and
you believe about those blue lens glasses
he was on the sidelines on camera.
That was Photoshopped. Those glasses weren't even put out then. Like, they had those glasses, but now with those blue dots in there.
This is the delusion of the Michigan fan
No, it's not delusion.
It is. To say
you believe everything on the interwebs.
No, I believe 50 camera angles on a sidelines he should never have been on.
Do
he
we
doesn't
really
coach for Central Michigan. So why is he on Central Michigan sidelines scouting a team with glasses on at 10 p.m. at night that they're about to play 2 weeks later?
Can I say something?
Yes. This is how you rebut.
Do we really need sign stealing to beat Central Michigan?
No.
Or anybody in there?
But you played Michigan State 2 weeks later.
Right there. That makes my point.
But you played Michigan State 2 weeks later. You were scouting Michigan State signs.
I'm just saying.
All right, let's take a break. And we get back, we'll finish up. J. Michael's Restaurant, best seafood, coldest beer. Go check it out. You'll love it.
Go blue.
Don't forget Wednesday, the world famous J. Michael's spaghetti. It's incredible. You gonna be there Wednesday?
I'll be working.
Come down there and I'll buy you some more spaghetti. How about that?
I gotta work.
Okay, that's even better. Save me some money. South Oak Title and Closing, Chuck Tucker, Levy Chuck, another local company. The guy does an incredible job.
I used them. Great company.
They do a great
Couple years
job.
ago.
No doubt about that. South Oak Title and Closing, #1. Not even close. Also, Stevenson Air Conditioning. Thank you, Jason, for all the great things you do. Anytime, day or night, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They're there for you. Almost 25 years, Dr. Chad Mitchell been taking care of these people around here. It's incredible. Taking care of Bay County athletes, taking care of our children. The guy's unbelievable. If you get any type of injury, call Chad, make an appointment. Hey, talk about Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. What do you like there?
Actually, I'm going to go with Buckeye Boy. I like the jalapeno sausage, Texas.
Did you try it?
The taco, breakfast taco, are divine, by the way, as my intern would say. And they got the Lotus stuffed potato.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Dennis Bush tear that up, boy.
That thing's good.
I still got to try the turkey. I haven't been over there in a
Turkey's
while.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
I love the
turkey's
turkey. Really good.
And their sauce is good. They got a couple sauces in there.
Yeah,
That's really
sissy
good.
sauce.
And they got the Lorelei. They got the Lorelei and Layton room in the back. You can go have a party. Have a Michigan party there. You can have a Ohio State Buckeye party.
Have a Buckeye Michigan
what did you
Kumbaya
say?
party.
Wildcat, what'd you say? Everybody's getting along.
That's the only time I've ever.
Oh, they're holding hands right now. They're holding hands right now. I love that. Talking about Rudy's Barbecue.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida is already your home for the most live and local sports talk. And now we're taking
Oh, he got all of that one.
the Inside Drive. Ryan Mulvey, middays, 11 to 1 inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. The latest reactions to the biggest stories happening right now. Plus, interviews, sports betting, and your calls.
You got to be pleased with that.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a moderate breeze out of the east-southeast, light rain and 63. A variety of slight fog and light sprinkles tonight, about the same at 61. Tomorrow, slightly foggy and lightly raining and a high of 68. The same at 68 Thursday, and we'll have a variety of heavy rain and slight fog. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
The Senior Bowl. For 75 years, it's been the proving ground of football's greatest legends. The tradition continues Saturday, February 3rd as the legends return to Mobile. Join us at Hancock Whitney Stadium, where the first 5,000 entrants will receive limited edition bobbleheads of the 75th team legends. Dan Marino, DeMarcus Ware, Aaron Donald, Sean Alexander, and Cornelius Bennett. Get your tickets for the 75th Senior Bowl Bowl at SeniorBowl.com. The draft starts in Mobile.
Broadcasting live from the Redneck Riviera. It's the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, what's it
He said no.
I ain't gonna do it.
You're killing me.
And we're back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. What are some of the biggest upsets in bowl game history? Can you name one? Can you have any idea? Just give me one. See if you made it. Top 5. What do you think it is? It's a 2-hour show.
I would have to say one of them's got to be TCU Michigan. If you're counting the playoff.
Did not make it the survey.
I'll give you a hint. This guy proposed to his girlfriend after they won.
Oh, Boise State.
Yes.
Boise State.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah.
All right, here's number 5. This happened in 1966 Cotton Bowl. LSU 14, the Arkansas Razorbacks 7. That came in at number 5.
We all remember that one.
All right. Number 4, 1971 Cotton Bowl. Notre Dame 24, Texas Longhorns 11.
Are there any in this century?
I do remember that game. Well, this is all-time history. Number 3, 2017 Fiesta Bowl. Boise State 43. Oklahoma 42 overtime. Remember, they throw the pass across the middle. They flip it back to the guy coming across.
Right.
And that is the one they asked the girl.
And then the 2-point conversion was the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty, yeah. I was going to say that.
I think they're divorced now.
That's one of the best calls of all.
Why do you got to say that? Why you got to rain on someone's parade like that?
Hey, he's Mr. Evil.
Because we're the news.
He's Mr. Evil.
Well, I just made it. I don't know. I said I heard. I don't know what's
Why are you
true or
spreading
not.
fake news just like MSDNC, man?
Number two, one of the biggest upsets, the second biggest upset in college football history. It happened in the Fiesta Bowl. Joe Paul was the head football coach. What were the two teams?
Penn State, Miami, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Can you name the score?
No, I remember
close.
it was
Who won the game?
Penn State.
Ken Black. Sure. What was his name? The quarterback for Penn State at the time.
Todd Blackledge.
Todd Blackledge. Yeah.
Yeah, Blackledge. Now he's an announcer.
Yeah.
And does a good
Canton,
job. I like
Ohio.
him.
Yep.
I like it. He from Ohio. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Everybody's from Ohio.
How did y'all lose him?
We've lost a lot of Ohio players. Michigan wouldn't be any good without Ohio players.
Anyway,
Or two of their best.
Joe
most
Paul
historic
won that
players.
game.
That's not a shot. That's just how Michigan recruits.
Joe Paul won that
Keep
game.
eyeing the prize here,
14 to
people.
10, and they win the national championship. But the number one all-time greatest game, not greatest game, but greatest upset in bowl history, happened in 1984. What bowl game? Don't you guys answer. What bowl game was it? Was it the Cotton Bowl, Fiesta, Sugar, or Orange?
Well, Tigers won the World Series in '84. I don't really remember. I ought to say it'd be the Orange Bowl.
Correct, sir. What two teams were they? One is a blue blood, and I don't consider the other one a blue blood. One was a blue blood. Legendary coach.
Probably Miami with Schellenberger. Is that one?
He is. Yes, you are correct. Who did he beat? Who did he beat?
We got 8 minutes. Come on now.
Well, do you consider Miami a blue blood?
No.
No,
That made him a blue
See, that's
blood.
what I was thinking.
Tom Osborne was.
Yeah,
the coach.
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Nebraska got beat 31-30, and that was, I believe, Miami's first national
Yeah, it was.
championship.
Yeah, it was.
Was Howard the coach then? Howard
Yes.
Tubman?
Bernie Kosar's the quarterback.
Yeah. So
Number 19.
pretty good, Michigan. You
Good
did
job.
actually did a really good job. I was impressed with that. No doubt about
I thought
that.
it'd be Ohio State, Miami from 2002.
Yeah, but see, Ohio State got the benefit of that call. See, they cheated. That's what you're going to say. No,
I'm not gonna say that.
Forget the fact that it was 4th and 14, 2 plays before that, and they threw that out to Michael Jenkins. You completely knocked that down. You stopped that. The game's over.
Right.
Can I say
Game
something?
over.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, when it was the U playing Ohio State, I was rooting for the
That was the Fiesta Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I
was a
rooted for you all
tremendous-
That
for
was
the
when the
years.
U had Kenny Dorsey was the
That was a
quarterback, and then
tremendous
was Claret, you guys running back, right?
Boris Claret is 1 year. Got 1 year wonder.
And who was your quarterback?
Craig Krenzel.
Krenzel. You know where he's from?
Michigan.
Yep.
You know what high school he went to?
No, that I don't know.
Utica Ford. In our conference, we played them in high school.
Please don't hit the table. You make an unnecessary noise. All right, here's another one.
Do what I want.
This is for you,
My
Michigan
show.
Eddie. This is by CBS Sports, the 10 greatest football teams in history of college football.
Oh, God.
The playoff era, the playoff. Coming in, I
Alabama's
don't
nominated in
agree.
the top 10.
I do not agree with this one. Coming at number 6 was 2023 Michigan. Number 1, 2019 LSU. Number 2, 2020 Alabama. Number 3, Georgia 2022. Number 4, Clemson 2018. Number 5, Georgia 2021. Number 6, Michigan 2023. Number 7, Alabama 2017. Number 8, 2016 Clemson. Number 9, Ohio State Buckeyes 2014. And number 10, Alabama 2015. Michigan Eddie, I think that Michigan should be number 10. I don't think they should be number 6 because of who they played. They had a weaker schedule. At the end of the year, they had Ohio State, which they beat. Give them credit. They beat Ohio State at home. They beat Alabama, Nick Saban, drove him out of college football. Then they beat Washington, destroyed Washington in the national championship game. The other games, the only other team they played was any good was Maryland. Maryland gave them a game. Penn State, they beat them pretty good. So, but you go back and look at these other schools. They played.
Rutgers was also a bowl eligible.
Rutgers is a
And they won their bowl
powerhouse.
game.
That's true. That's true. What do you think, though? Seriously, you think Michigan should be higher than 6? I'm not, I was messing with you there, but do you think they should be higher than 6 in this greatest playoff era?
Only history will determine that.
So you don't want to answer it?
The 2002 Ohio State Buckeyes should be on that list. They beat
This is playoff eras.
2002.
There were no playoff.
That was BCS still.
BCS.
I think 2014 should be higher, though. They had some Hall of Fame players.
They did. They had.
And they went with a third-string quarterback to show you how
2002,
talented that team was.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Bosa's.
Yeah.
They had Chase
2002
Young as a
beat
freshman. They had
the Hurricanes, they had 115 guys drafted off that team, kind of like in Alabama.
Right.
We had 49 guys to go in the first round. Okay, forget the fact there's only 8 rounds. We had 49 go in the first round. And Ohio State beat them. I'm just saying.
That was a
That's just
historic
me.
upset.
Michigan should be higher.
Yeah, they should be higher.
You can't penalize them for the schedule. Because then the SEC from earlier yesteryear and all that, they cream puff schedules. They don't even sell out their stadiums. At least Big Ten stadiums fill out their stadiums, even if they're playing directional schools. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
What SEC school does not fill out their stadium?
Oh, it's all. If they're playing like a Jacksonville State or something, like go to FSU or Florida, you'll see empty stands. Where if you go to Michigan, the Buckeyes, what have you, if they're playing a MACtion school, a directional school as we call them, you're selling them out. Unlike here, fickle fans.
Okay.
It's true.
I didn't know that.
It's true.
Okay.
And anyone that at me right now, watch next season when, say, Florida plays a no-name school, whatever, and how many empty seats there are.
Okay.
It's just true.
What do you think the best team is that you've seen in the playoff era? You think it's LSU 2019, like they said?
Well, they're pretty dang good.
They beat everybody to death. I got to go with that.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
I think they're the best team, and I actually think that Ohio State team that lost to Clemson that year was almost as good. They had a phenomenal team, and they ended up losing that game to Clemson on some bad calls.
Bad calls.
But they had a historic defense. They had.
Is that the one they called the guy down? Or
that's the one that he caught the pass, ran 3 yards, they knocked it out of his hand, returned it for a touchdown, and then they reviewed.
Oh yeah.
And
the targeting call.
the targeting call on Wade that kicked him out of the game in the first quarter, which is an absolute joke. I mean, complete joke on that one.
That was played in the Orange Bowl, wasn't it?
I think it was Fiesta Bowl, maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
There's a lot of good schools in the playoff era. I mean, even the losing teams were good, like that those Clemson teams that, remember, what was that linebacker that kept on getting those targeting calls? I mean, those are some pretty good.
The white
squads.
kid, I can't remember his name.
Skalski. I felt so bad for that kid. It happened not one game, but two different games.
I'm glad you stayed because you said you got to go. You made a fit. I got to go. All right, we're out today, Jason. We got you and Jim Friday.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for coming in, Miss Getty. Hope you're feeling better, and God bless you. Keep Ryan Mogan in your prayers. They got a great show coming.
Ryan, love you, man. Go Lions.
We are out. 104.3 ESPN.
Bite some kneecaps, go blue.
Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
Three-pointer. College basketball is back.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
The SEC, ACC, and beyond.